Folks, welcome back into Three's In. Bobo here. Check ride day. So, 54 years ago, actually, and changed on December 11th, 1970. I was going to tell you this story earlier, but I must have forgotten my Prevagen that day. Okay, December 11th, 1970, I was scheduled for my T38 contact check. Now, when I went through pilot training in 38 phase, we had three different milestones to meet. They were critical milestones. The first was solo in a T38. The second was this contact check. And the third one was solo in formation, in two-ship formation. Once you got through those three, your chance of graduating really significantly improved. Okay, so I'm scheduled for this 38 contact check on a Friday afternoon. I was a little bit apprehensive about it because I had failed my T37 mid-phase check, and that didn't sit well with me. It was still gnawing on me because I had done something that I wasn't aware of, and that scared the living hell out of me. And I carried that fear the rest of my flying career. I was always afraid of either doing something I wasn't aware of or not doing something I should have been doing. So I was forever vigilant about that. Okay, that being said, I had a ride at 12:44 with Lieutenant Spencer, and we flew on runway 14, 13 at Randolph and Seguin respectively, and then out the area, did some area work, came back, touch and go, and came back and landed. Came back to Randolph and landed. During the debrief, he wasn't really enthusiastic about it. I think the ride that I had, I was apprehensive. I think I was reserved, and it may have shown. So he looks up at me. He said, "Well, how'd you feel about the ride?" And I said, "Well, I felt okay. It may not have been my best ride, but I said I think it was okay." And he said, "Yeah," he says, "that's kind of the way I assess it." He said, "Do you want to take your check ride this afternoon, or do you want to wait till next week?" And I thought for a minute. I said, I'd just soon take it and have it behind me. I don't want to sit over the weekend and stew over it. He said, "Good point." Okay. So he signs me off, and I go down to my normal IP's desk, and he gives me the blessing for the check ride. I don't remember there was something he had to brief me about. So I got briefed and then sent on down to check section. Well, throughout this time, right around this period, a front had come through, and they changed runways from 14 at Randolph to 32, and from 13 to 31 at Seguin, respectively. So, swell. Just swell. So anyway, I go down and I meet my check airman, a guy named Roger, I think Roger Lightning. I can't be sure about that. And nice guy as it turned out. He really knew how to put people at ease. So we briefed the profile. Essentially, it was going to be a departure to a single engine touch and go out to the area for recoveries and some stall work, some stalls, and then 3 aerobatic maneuvers. I think he picked 2 of them, I picked 1, and then back into Seguin for no flap, and then return to Randolph for a full stop. So he finishes the briefing, he looks over at me, and he says, "How do you feel about the ride? You okay with it?" Because it's Friday afternoon, 4:20 takeoff. The squadron's kind of shutting down. The weather's heading downhill. And I said, I feel fine. I feel okay about it. He said, "Do you have any concerns?" And I said, "Well, only one." I said, "The only thing I've really struggled with is staying in the area on sometimes I'll bust out the sides, or a couple times I've gone out the top or down out the bottom." And I said, "That's kind of annoying to me, and I'm a little bit concerned about that. But other than that," he said, "Let's put it this way." He says, 3 strikes, then you're out. Well, I'd never busted out of the area 3 times on a ride. So I felt really encouraged about that. So, like I said, we went down to the soft desk for our flight brief, and the winds had changed. The runway had changed, and it was getting a little darker than normal with that high overcast sky. Clouds were probably 23, 25,000 feet. Visibility was maybe 5-6 miles. It was okay for flying, but not great. Okay, be as it may, you have to fly on those days too. Sometimes you got to play golf in the rain. Okay, so go down, strap in, hop out to the jet, take off. Flew over to Seguin. I didn't sense anything abnormal out to the area. Did my area work. Actually, was kind of enjoyed it. Back into Seguin for a no flap, and I always enjoyed no flaps. I just had fun with them. And then from there back to Randolph for a full stop. As I came up initial, I was feeling pretty good. Pitched out, came around, checked 240 below, gear, flaps, got to the perch. Reno 17, gear check, full stop. Reno 17, you're cleared to land. Okay. That time, Captain Lightning looks at me, or says to me over the intercom, Bob, he said, would you mind if we just did a touch and go to full stop? Now, who am I going to say? No, don't be stupid. So I said, not at all. So he just hit the mic button. He says, Tower, he said, Reno 17 will be a touch and go to a full stop. You're clear. So we did the touch and go. And get down, get the airplane cleaned up. He takes control of the aircraft and pulls up, turns it for closed down one. And during this time, he said, Bob, have you thought about what aircraft you'd like to fly after graduation, what you'd like to do? And I said, yes, sir, I have. Excuse me. So I thought to myself, what do you have to lose? And he said, what's that? And I said, well, sir, I said, I would like to start out as solo on the Thunderbirds. It got real quiet in the cockpit. And then he just started laughing. He started laughing hysterically. I don't know what's funny about that. I think that would have been a great position to start out. Anyway, he was just laughing, and he got the gear and the flaps, and he struggled through the gear check, and we come around the final turn. He was still chuckling, trying to choke it down. Gained his composure as we came across the threshold, landed, and we taxied in, shut down, and he sent me off for our after-flight cokes. I headed back to his office and sat down. He had a little cubicle there, and he was sitting. I could see that he was sitting there, kind of hunched over, like he was filling out the grade sheet. Big state secret there. And then he took the grade sheet and flipped it over, leaned back. He said, "Well, how do you think you did?" And I said, "Well," he said, I think I did okay. I said, I really enjoyed the ride. I said, I felt good about it. And so I kind of braced myself for whatever was coming my way. He took the grade sheet and he said, Bob, he said, you had a good ride. And he said, it was fun. And he said, I had to ding you on your single engine approach because this, that, or the other. I can't remember. And then you always, when you got a downgrade on one thing, and back in that day, you got a downgrade on judgment. Give me a break. So I got downgraded on 2 items, single engine approach and then judgment. And I didn't think much about it at the time. I just looked at it. I still don't know if I do understand it all. But anyway, he handed me the grade sheet, and as it turned out, the grade was a 98.3, and I was shocked when I finally saw it on that next Monday. But just to see all those excellence and then the 2 downgrades, and I just never seen a grade sheet like that before. So I walked back to the flight room, and when I got in there, the flight room was virtually empty. My instructor, who was the flight scheduler, was putting the schedule up for Monday morning. And because we were on late week, and then Monday we're going to be on early week. So anyway, he's putting the schedule up when I walked in. And I can remember this. He turned around, looked at me, and he said, well, Thunderbird, how'd it go? Tell me all about it. You can't get away with anything in pilot training. So anyway, I just chuckled a little bit, and we talked about it, and that was it. I was in shock for the rest of the evening, and then on cloud 9 for the weekend. I really felt great. Not only that, I can honestly look to that ride and say, that's when I really caught fire in the 38. And boy, I started really having fun with that airplane. And I did all the way up to the day I retired. What a wonderful, wonderful experience that was. So that being said, I'd like to take the opportunity to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you here soon. This is Bobo. Base Gear. Stop.